Good afternoon. My name is Nicole LaChapelle and I am the mayor of Easthampton, Massachusetts. This is my weekly update. This week I have the school superintendent, Dr. Allison LeClaire, with me to talk about the school district and some really special projects and initiative Dr. LeClaire has put forward in barely your first year, just ended as superintendent. And walk through those. I do want to, commend and recommend that folks check out what's going on in the school website. This morning's convocation, I was fortunate enough to attend, and Dr. LeClaire really just laid out an amazing vision for our schools that's very realistic and a path forward. And I feel very lucky that you are our superintendent.
Thank you.
I would love to share the video link around technology and what's facing our students. It was very compelling. Even for somebody who has some background in education and understands, it was really well done. So that said, first day of school is coming up. Teachers are back in the buildings. What's the first day of school going to look like for our city?
Well, I think it's going to be an amazing day. I think the teachers are really in a great place.
Yeah.
We have great staff. They've been working really hard all summer. The people that stay here all summer long, the custodial staff, the office staff, they've been doing an amazing job getting the buildings ready. So the buildings are in really great shape, number one. We were able to take up some more carpeting at Whitebrook.
Fantastic.
And we even have a sample floor down for the new school building.
Oh, really?
In one of the classrooms, so it's great. And so there are a lot of great things happening.
Yeah.
The teachers have been wrapping up 3 days of professional development today. Wow. So they've really been digging into pedagogy, and they've been talking about a lot of issues that our students are facing.
Yeah.
And so they're really on a high right now. So I think next week is going to be great. There's a lot of team building that's been going on with the staff. So I think we're in really good shape.
The energy was palpable this morning up at the high school with all the faculty. I mean, you really felt it when you walked into the room. It was very exciting. And as I talked to teachers just out and about, they are very excited about this year and the input that they've had into their environment and professional environment. I mean, the inspiration you had a small video put together at the end of convocation, and it just showed all of such inspiring things in the classrooms with the teachers and the students. I wanted to ask one question about a comment. The faculty gave you feedback around something called vertical stacking and collaboration, and you got a big round of applause when you said that was. Yeah. Can you just explain a little bit what that is? I mean, it was like a lot of excitement when you said that.
Sure. So, last year I spent a lot of time asking people questions and really trying to learn about some of the strengths and some of the challenges in the district. And one thing that I heard universally from the teachers is they felt as though they lost out on the opportunity to collaborate across buildings and across grade levels. Yep. In other words, like middle school teachers having conversations with high school teachers. Years ago, there had been curriculum leaders in all the content areas, math, English, all of the areas, and they met across grade levels, and they put together professional opportunities for teachers. Excellent. And with budget cuts, that went away.
Right.
So that hasn't happened in several years. And I heard about it last year from staff, and they said it's really missing. And we are really, we're hurting as a district because we don't have that opportunity to kind of bridge our alignment of our curriculum. What are you doing in your building? How can I build on that in my building? What are some of the struggles you're seeing? Okay, those are some of the struggles we're also seeing, or some of the strengths, et cetera. So when we looked at it, when we analyzed it as a district last year, we realized it was not big money. It's between like $5,000 and $7,000 to restore this.
But important dollars, it sounds like.
It's important dollars. So we made a conscious decision to restore that to the budget and eliminate some other things. As you know, we had a difficult budget year, but we felt this was necessary. This is what the teachers told us was necessary, and we think academically it's going to really benefit our students. So some of the funding that we have for that is going to come out of a grant.
Okay.
And some of it is going to come out of the budget. So it really wasn't even impacting the city budget too much. But yes, when I did bring that up today,
Yeah.
people are really excited that that's coming back because that's what they demanded.
And I think that speaks to the dedication of the faculty.
Right.
That's something that gets them jazzed. Big new hire at Easthampton High School.
Yes.
Principal Evans, I got to meet him at the Red Sox trophy picture taking. Can you just talk about the process of hiring him and what your work has been with him over the summer, and how are you feeling about the high school in this coming year?
Sure. So I feel great about our hire, Mr. Evans. So when we were notified that we were going to be needing to get a new principal, we formed a committee because we really felt as though a high school principal is really a community hire. So we had administrators, we had teachers, which the teachers union selected their teachers.
Fantastic.
We also asked for support staff represented, and again, their union selected those people. We asked for parents, and we pulled names out of a hat because we had a selection of parents.
Oh, right.
We had students on the committee, high school students were represented. We had a school committee member, and we also had a community member at large, which we left wide open, and we ended up having, selecting from all the names that we had, a parent of a kindergartner at the time from Center Pepin, who volunteered to be on the committee. So the committee was large. It was about 14 people in all. They met, they organized themselves, they really talked about what they were looking for in a leader. I was not involved in the process at that point at all. It was led by Dale Doran, our business manager. And they came up with what they were looking for in a leader. They came up with the questions they wanted to ask. Of course, equity and diversity are big issues at the high school. So they had a lot of questions around those types of issues. And they did the first 2 rounds of interviews, and then they brought 2 candidates to me.
Oh, wow.
Before they got to that place, we also did community forums at the high school and invited anyone in the community that wanted to come in and ask questions of the candidates to come in, and then I did the final meetings with them. And after all, and we also did surveys. We surveyed anybody that went to the forums to give them a voice anonymously, if they wanted, to tell us their impressions of the candidates. And then we chose Bill Evans. And he's thrilled to be here. We're thrilled to have him. He's done a lot of work around diversity and inclusion. He has a lot of great ideas. He has a really positive energy. And this is a little bit of a bigger high school than where he came from. He was a principal before, but North Brookfield Junior Senior High School was a little smaller. So this is a challenge for him to walk into a little bit of a bigger school, but he's really excited. He has more staff that he can really engage with, and so he's really jumped right in. Last night we had the new student barbecue,
Yes, the barbecue,
which was a huge success. And when I walked in, all the students that were there to kind of lead tours all had their Easthampton t-shirts on. All of the faculty that was there, and there were tons of them, all had their Easthampton t-shirts on. And so it was a great evening, and there was a lot of positive energy there. So I think he's bringing an element to the high school that we've been missing for a little bit. So I think people are excited about the change.
It was very impressive. He was, I think, first adult in line to get his picture taken with the Red Sox World Series trot. And then after he got his picture taken, he went into the building to work. He's like, oh, I'm going to go get my work stuff out of the car. And he went on a beautiful weekend day. So I was like, wow, that's dedication. And he was very excited. It came up a little bit this morning, but I've also heard you talk a lot about this at school committee meetings and at community events around relationships. And you really kind of laid it out for the faculty this morning about where our success and where we need to go as a school district are in relationships. And if you could just, kind of define those relationships and where you're leading our faculty and student body as far as making relationships, and with who.
Sure. So Last year, I did one-on-one interviews with community members, with school committee members, with a whole host of people, individual teachers, groups of teachers. We also did a survey last year to find out about strengths and challenges. We had over 300 people respond to our school district survey.
It's a lot of data.
It was a lot of data, and overwhelmingly, what I heard from everyone across the board, no matter what their role was in the community, they said that the relationships that the adults in Easthampton have with the kids are key to the success of the district. That was overwhelmingly what I heard from people. People choose to send their students to Easthampton because of the staff we have here. We have excellent staff, and I said, people don't choose to send their kids here because of me or because of the building principals. It's because of a coach, or the lunch monitors, the custodians, all of those people that engage with the families. And you know, nowadays people can send their kids to charter schools or private schools or school choice out of the district, but they're choosing to keep their kids here. And it's really important that we continue to really focus on the relationships that we're building with kids every single day, to go out of our way to say hi to a kid, ask how they're doing, form those bonds with students. But I went a step further than that today. I said it's also about the relationships that we have with one another. It's about supporting each other, you know, every day in school, and knowing that a new teacher may be having a bad day and struggling, and that's when a mentor needs to step in and really kind of prop them up. So it's really all about the relationships that we have across the district, and that's what we focused on
Your
today.
proactive framing of the relationship and that cross support, I was just, I think is certainly pertinent to a school district, but also pertinent to a city hall, or a public safety building, and our community. I love the kind of common theme through that. If folks have not heard, we are building a new school, and I'm always shocked when I go upstairs. It seems you have two very clear, distinct full-time jobs, building our school and being superintendent. Can you give us an update on the new school, where people can see more information and hear more information about it, and where we are overall in the process?
Sure. So the building committee, as you know, you're a member, has been meeting monthly all along. And I said to the staff today, I said, you know, I know the vote was a year and a half ago, and people are probably wondering, what have you been doing? But there's a lot that goes on to this planning.
Amazing.
And, you know, we have moved some things or tweaked some things. For example, one of the things that we did was to move the middle school library, if you recall. From, it was kind of tucked in a corner on the second floor. We moved it up to the third floor to take advantage of some stunning views we have on that site.
Great move.
So, you know, there were some steps that needed to go into that. And so over this course of this year, we developed a subcommittee of the building committee, which is the design committee. And that's made up of some leadership within the schools and a building committee member, Deb Luznia, who's a former school committee member. And so we've met with the architects, we've met with design consultants that bring in all kinds of information about color theory and all the research that's been done out there to guide us in the right direction around colors for our schools. And where, even though it's one building, we're trying to keep it a little bit distinct in the two wings, if you will. So we have kind of our elementary school color scheme, which is a little bit more vibrant for the younger children, and then the colors become a little bit more muted and mature as we go over to the middle school side, so that the kids will feel like they're moving into a bigger setting. So we've been spending a lot of time on that, and we have vision boards that have been created. We've been meeting with staff that are key towards looking at certain spaces, like our music spaces, our PE spaces. What are the nuances that we at an upper level may not be aware of? Do we have enough storage for musical instruments and things like that? We've been meeting with OT, PT, looking at some of our special education spaces. looking at our administration spaces, our cafeteria spaces. So all of these are a lot of meetings. We've been talking about technology,
Yes.
what that's going to look like in the classrooms, and the ease or the access that people will have to it. We're getting into the furniture pieces now that we're starting to examine and check out. As I mentioned to you earlier, we have a floor laid out at the middle school.
Right.
We're looking at different samples that we want people to actually walk on and try out, you
Right.
know, and see. Over the course of this year, we'll be bringing in samples of chairs for students, you know, that we
Okay.
actually want people
Right.
to live with for a little
Yeah.
while and give us input on. So that's kind of where we're rolling around. The final
Okay.
bid goes out in October. We're hoping to break ground this winter.
Yes.
So there'll be a lot of action on that site in the coming months. So
The vision boards that were at the high school
Yes.
this morning really give just that, especially with the colors and the materials, that kind of gradation from the little, you know, kindergarten and pre-kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade. It really is remarkable. I mean, you kind of get that flow. You mentioned that the vision boards are going to be at the school open houses.
yes.
Do you have the dates, or where can we get those dates?
Those dates are on the websites for the
Excellent.
individual schools. And we'll also put them out on our Facebook pages.
Excellent.
And
Okay.
we just
We'll share
started a
that.
Twitter account today for
What?
Easthampton Public Schools.
What's the Twitter handle?
We are at Easthampton PK12, which stands for preschool through 12. We didn't want to leave the
Easthampton.
preschoolers out.
No. They're very vocal. I've met some. They're very vocal.
So we will be promoting that. I already informed parents that will be
Excellent.
starting in the coming weeks. so,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic. So on September 7th at Millside Pond Live, the concert series, I have a little tent and have a different theme. September 7th will be all about the new school. Weather permitting, I'll have those vision boards up. There's also a specific page off of the school district page that goes through the new school
Yes,
project.
the building, yeah.
And the second to last question I'll throw. You've been giving kind of updates at the school committee level of what's going on with the project. Can we anticipate, and if I could invite you here on camera, to come to City Council and give
Sure.
an overview as we get closer to bid and all these details come?
Absolutely.
Very
I would love it.
exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And the amount of work is near impossible to imagine. I end these interviews with the one-off oddball question that's nothing to do with the
Okay.
person's job, and you can see the smiles right now behind the camera. So, if you were going to have to pick one spirit animal as your own, what would be your spirit animal?
Well, I'm going to say a dog because I have a dog.
Okay, all right,
So, and I have a lab.
all right.
And
High
to
energy,
me,
yeah.
they're very friendly, you know, and they're outgoing, and that's something I aspire to do more. Be more outgoing. I'm a little
They're
more
very smart.
introverted. They're very smart.
They're very smart.
Clever.
Yes.
And so I think they bring a lot of enrichment to people's lives.
So I've got to ask, I fibbed a little bit. One more question. What kind of lab do you have?
I have a black lab, a big boy. He's about 100 pounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He's a big boy.
Formidable.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. And what's the lab's name?
Dover.
Dover. I kind of want to meet Dover now. Maybe someday.
Could bring him to work.
There you go. There you go. Dr. LeClaire, thank you so much for
Thank
all of
you.
your efforts, giving me so much time as you're walking into the beginning of a new school year. I hope people stop by the tent on September 7th and see the vision boards. Look on the school's Facebook page. We'll share it on the city's Facebook page about open house and other school events. And I would encourage everyone, check out the concerts. The end of the summer events at Park and Rec are putting on. But most importantly, school is starting. Please pay attention for school buses and our students who walk and ride to school. They are on the streets. It's a little more crowded than usual. Sometimes we forget as summer goes into fall, but keep your eyes open. Thank you. Have a great week and enjoy the end of summer.